Right there. Okay. Tunngasugit, welcome everyone to Makitatsiatuq Wednesday. So today, of course, we're going to be working on our core. We worked on our abdominals last week. This week is going to be about that lower back. So we're going to be doing a Pilates-based warm-up followed by a strength-based heavy lifting workout for your lower back. Of course, you don't have to use heavy weights if you don't want to. And then we're going to finish with a yoga cool down. So if any part of that interests you, the Pilates, the yoga, or the actual lifting, be sure to stick around and do some of those exercises. So before I get started, just like to thank Brian and Tia joining me on Facebook through Zoom for this workout. Thank you all on Instagram and Facebook for tuning in to watch. And thank you to Sport Canada and Canadian Heritage for funding the Tunngasugit program, which Makitatsiatuq is a part of. So without further ado, we will get into this workout. So the first thing that we're going to do, like I said, starting with that Pilates, is we're going to be doing some side plank crunches. So just to show this off, we're going to be getting on our side. Me personally, I like to keep the knees bent, but making sure that everything from the hips up is straight along that mat. And we are going to be lifting up, propping up on that forearm, reaching over. You want to see that inverted C in that side plank. Back down. We do it 10 each side. So again, very aerobics or Pilates based. Reaching over with that C, touching that end of the mat if you can. Back to the feet, 10 times each side. So if you want a really good stabilizing workout, so something great for, again, beginners or those with some rehabilitation issues, this is perfect for that. Once you've done 10, switching over. This is a great workout for not only the obliques, but also that lower back, which has to steady us each time we do those reaches. So again, really try to push those ribs to the sky. You want to really feel that skin tightening along the rib cage. Once we've done this workout, which is also really great for the shoulders and that rotator cuff, great thing just to rotate those shoulders out. We're going to be moving into some glute bridge marches. So getting into that glute bridge position. So lifting that glute up, tightening the glutes, tightening the lower back, one leg up, back down, one leg up, and back down. So we do that 20 times, 10 on each side. Again, really good for the core, really good for the glutes, and of course, really good for that lower back. Now, if you can, really try to push the pelvis up, maintain it there, lifting those knees up. So you should be on your shoulder blades. Well, if you can, just to get the most out of this workout. So again, 10 times each side. A pretty simple exercise for the glutes and the lower back. Once we're finished with those, we're going to be jumping into our third exercise, which is some supine or supine. Haven't gotten that word figured out yet, but spinal twists. So from what I understand, it just means laying on your back. But, so we're going to be lying on our back, lifting our knees up 90 degrees, and we're going to twist that spine to one side, back over to the other. Now for this, instead of letting our body go all the way down, we're going to stop about halfway on each side, keeping those knees elevated. Trying to keep that spine flat. So if you have to go slow, totally recommend it. It's just great for some resistance on that lower back. So we're gonna do 10 on each side, so it should go by pretty quickly. So until you got 10 on each side, just rotating the spine and the hips, starting to feel that resistance build. And they say that the last 4 reps are really where you build that muscle, right when you start feeling that uncomfortable tightness or pain in the muscles. So once we finish 20, 10 on each side, we're gonna move into our final exercise. And these are going to be swimmers or swimming. Just gonna turn my mat around quickly. And so we're gonna be getting on our stomachs. And we're going to be similar to, now I'm forgetting that name, but the dog one we usually do. We're gonna be lifting alternating sides, so right and left leg up, left and right leg up, just like so. I know the angle on Facebook is a little off. I'm gonna tilt that real quick. Ooh. Okay, so getting into that swimming position, 10 on each side or 20 total. Arms out front, legs out back. Left, right, left, and right. So just like so, lifting each side, lifting with the back muscles. Again, really great for each individual part of that back. Making sure our hips are square.
This is a good mental exercise too, trying to stay coordinated.
Bird dogs, that's what it's called. Just came to me now. So imagine bird dogs, but you're laying flat on your stomach. So getting up to 20, 10 on each side.
It's a lot easier to remember when you're doing the actual bird dogs because you just like tip over. But I kept losing the rhythm just now, and I was like, right arm, right leg, no. Left arm, left leg, no, that's not. That's right.
Yeah, it's certainly hard to keep that in check. I mean, especially with bird dogs, like I'm always tipping over one side or the other. So if you have trouble with balance, especially, that might be a really great exercise to substitute bird dogs for. So to get into that workout now, we're going to be going by 10 reps, 5 times, based on that lower back. So we've got 4 exercises. The first is going to be a stiff leg dumbbell deadlift. So keeping the legs stiff, keeping them straight. And we're going to be bending down and lifting with our lower back. So stiff legs doesn't necessarily mean completely straight, knees locked. Some bend to the knee. So for myself, that looks like this. Slight bend in the knee, not locked. Slight bend, dumbbells together, down to the toes, back up, down to the toes, and back up. So again, deadlifts are really great for the core, as well as the lower back, which the core is a part of, or which is a part of the core, I should say. So just doing 10. And just like that, whipping out 10 deadlifts. So of course, if that's too easy, or you're using lighter weights, you don't have higher weights, etc., do more reps. I'm doing 60 pounds total, so 10 is good for me. But if you want to move up, maybe you're doing 20 pounds and you want to do 15 or 12. So moving into the next exercise, we're going to be doing some good mornings. So good mornings are similar to deadlifts, except we're going to be coming from straight up to bent, to straight up, to bent. So it's coming all from the hip joint, down and up, down and up. So I'm using one dumbbell, hugging it to my chest. My dog just moseyed on by. coming down and back up, down, back up. So imagine that we're bowing, lifting with that lower back as we're coming up, pushing the hips out, pushing that pelvis forward. Again, just doing 10. After 10, we're going to move into our third last, second last, elevated back bridges. So, okay, good, everybody can see that. I have to adjust Instagram just a little bit. So, essentially, we're going to be creating that bridge, holding with our lower back. So, we've done the same thing with our inner thighs. This time, we're creating that bridge, space for the lower back to move, down and up, down and up. It's kind of hard to describe, but trying to feel every vertebrae curve as you're coming up. So really focus on the spine as you're doing the exercise. Again, really focus on the core, tightening that lower back, bring the hips up higher than the spine. And again, we're just going to be doing 10. And again, really feel that in the spine. After 10, we're going to finish with some kettlebell swings. So, of course, I'm not using a kettlebell. I'm using a dumbbell, but it will have the same effect. The kettlebell is just a little bit easier to maneuver, but we're going to be working on our grip strength as well. So, grabbing onto that dumbbell, if you have one, some type of weighted object, you can also just do follow-throughs. If you don't have a dumbbell, but taking the dumbbell, coming through the legs, starting behind the knees, up, arms straight out forward, back down, back up, back through the legs, back up. So again, a lot focused on that lower back, keeping the legs a little bit wide so you can fit the dumbbell through. Again, through, up, through, keeping the arms straight, not stiff, similar to the stiff deadlifts, a little bend in it. Once we finish doing 10, we can take our rest. Whew. So great exercise to finish everything off. We should be feeling that in that lower back, just around this part. So again, just from the bottom of our shoulder blades to our hips, should be feeling that along the spine.
Can I see the one that you were doing leaning on the couch again? I was trying to do it with the ball and it didn't really work. So
Sure.
I want to see how you're getting low there. So I'll use my.
So I have the edge of the couch just where my shoulder blades start. Bum coming to the floor. Now at this point, I'm curving the spine up, keeping the upper spine well straight, pushing the hips forward, all in that spine, knees higher than the upper body. Back down, up, curving the spine, tightening the glutes, back down. So similar to a glute bridge, except if we're really focusing on the glutes, we would be further up, doing these, allowing the shoulders just on, focuses on that lower back. Yeah. Kind of drawn on there, but yeah, so just platform at the start of your lower shoulder blades and butt to the floor, butt up. but always higher than the shoulders if you can. Whew.
I just tried doing it on my my office chair and it did not work. It's very slip and slidey.
I was a little bit worried about that, thinking about it. I was like, how many people really have giant sectional couches, right? It's super random. Like I don't even know how it happened. But a good one, just if you can, is to put your arms, similar to how we've done those crab kicks in the past. Funny how I remember that one and not bird dog. But essentially, if you can try to curve that spine up, but you're going to end in a dip. You're going to end about here, curving that spine, but it'll be the same workout, just not as effective if you have a bridge, but being able to do it with the lower back. Again, as long as you're seeing that C curve in the lower spine, you're getting that exercise through. Whew. So if everybody's ready, we'll get into our second set. So again, getting into that stiff leg position. And again, doesn't necessarily mean completely stiff, slight bend in the knees, but essentially we're not using our knees or our legs to lift our dumbbells or whatever we're using, just allowing that lower back to lift the dumbbells up. When I finish those reps off, I like to push my pelvis forward, just helps with the core. Now we're gonna get into those good mornings. So hugging that dumbbell, I like to keep mine between my chest, down as much as you can, almost like child pose, and back up. Keeping that dumbbell tight. Whew. Keeping the back straight, of course. After 10, you're gonna get into those back bridges again. So keeping our shoulders elevated off the floor, bringing the butt to the floor, rotating up, feeling that curve in the spine as if the lower part of your spine is curving up to the ceiling, back down, inverted C, and then a proper C up, C facing down, C facing up. So again, really think about your spine. Don't think too much on the pelvis or the glutes. Just think a lot about where that tailbone is ending up. After 10, finishing off with those kettlebell swings or dumbbell swings. This one I definitely feel, especially in that core as you tuck it in, exploding out. After 10, taking that rest. So, pretty good workout so far. We're on our third set coming up and already feeling that in the lower back. So I think it's also very important to isolate the abdominal muscles and the lower back separately. So often we'll have our Wednesdays focused on abdominals and then a Wednesday that's focused directly on the lower back, just to make sure that we're even and of course not taking up too much time. Whew. Yeah, I think it's those kettlebell swings that are definitely the ones that are really doing it for me in my lower back, because I'm feeling it in the core as well. Every time I tuck in my rolls, you know, I can really feel that explosiveness coming up. Of course, these are really great. Also, if you're going to be doing like some jumping for the Olympic Games, I mean, that's a super stretch, but you know, maybe we'll all be there soon. But if you're doing any type of long jump, two-legged jump, and I can only suppose that would be good for a 2-foot high kick or a kneeling jump. Again, because you're really using that propelling power from the lower back and the core to throw those arms forward. Like you can imagine a big jump like so, something like that. Whew. Not much of a rest, I guess, for me. But now we're going to be getting back into that workout, assuming everybody is ready. Whew. Same thing, that stiff leg, deadlift. Again, just a slight bend in the knees. Once you finish those, into those good mornings. So hugging that dumbbell close, down and up, down and up. Now, getting into those back bridges. And again, same thing, doing 10. Shoulder blades elevated. Let the other parts of your back drop. Tailbone down, tailbone up to the sky. I can hear my girlfriend singing in the next room, and it's just killing me. She's a great singer though. But anyways, getting into that kettlebell position, through the legs, up, through the legs, up, through the legs, and up. Whew. Whew. So feeling pretty good. Lower back feeling pretty tight. And I'm starting to get that wobbly feeling in the lower back, like you know, like a wet noodle.
I can't believe I used to deadlift like my body weight. I can barely do like 10 pounds now.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I used to be able to do my body weight in pretty much everything. So I could bench. I think I was 185 at the time, and around my height. So I was benching like 185 to 2. I was squatting 185 to 2, everything. And now it's like, you know, 60 pounds is my limit, you know?
I don't know if you guys are making me feel better or worse that I've never been very strong.
I think you should feel pretty good. I think you definitely finished first, you know, at least you could sometimes Paige usually leaves us in the dust. So we've got 2 more sets to go through. 30-second break. I'd say about give about 5 more seconds, and then we're going to get back into it. Second last one. Whew. So getting ourselves ready, stiff leg, down and up, down and up. Whew. Now into those good mornings. Gripping that dumbbell, hugging it close. Again, just doing 10 of each, unless you feel like you have to do more or less. Okay, now into those elevated shoulders, lower back bridge. Certainly a mouthful when I say it like that. And again, butt down, curving that spine in reverse, making that C with the tailbone. Whew. So after that 10, finishing off with those kettlebells. Whew. Or dumbbell swings. Whew. Gotta say, certainly feeling that in that lower back. Holy.
I always forget to breathe during kettlebell swing.
It's definitely like in those final sets, I find myself so often holding my breath just to get that extra one up. And yeah, totally don't recommend that. Definitely try to keep a steady breathing, but certainly getting hard.
It's all fun and games until you throw a weight through a wall or a window.
Yes. Exactly, yeah. So on to our final rest before we get into that final set. So obviously, you know, I recommend obviously stretching out that spine, doing some little twists if you can, putting those shoulders back, trying to stretch out that back as best as you can. Some child's pose or some cannonballs, whatever you got. Whew. So into our last set. Oh, and definitely gonna make this one count. Into those good mornings after 10, or more if you're doing more, less if you're doing less. After those good mornings, into that bridge. Whew. Our final bridge of the day. And again, it's all in that tailbone, where that tailbone ends up. Finishing off with those kettlebell or dumbbell swings now. Whew. I can tell this one's going to put me out of commission. All right. Last one. Whew. Okay. Wow. So good job. Gotten through our workout. Certainly one of the harder lower back workouts that we've done, but it's always good. It means we're hopefully moving up in strength. Whew.
I like that that was a lower back workout, and I've got the spaghetti arms going on all the same.
Keeping the stiff arm with the kettlebell is it's those fronts. It's those fronts again. They've shown their ugly head again in these workouts. Whew. So, hey, good girl. So now we're gonna get into that cool down. So, like I said, it's a very yoga focused cool down, and so we're going to be doing some cannonball rolls, or I guess some happy child rolls. It really depends on sort of where you see this. But essentially, we're going to be keeping those knees to the chest, like so, and we're going to rotate the knees around the body. So 5 times clockwise and 5 times counterclockwise. So just so everyone sees what I'm doing, it does look exactly how it looks. Knees are up and you're rotating on the butt around the hips like so. So left.
Is it supposed to just be your knees? Because I'm going to do what Paige is doing, where you just rotate just pivot around on your back.
Well, I am, yeah. So basically, you are going to be moving on either side of your hip, just because of the way that the bone looks. But essentially, I'm coming out of my comfort zone to the left, stretching that spine out, up to the chest, around to the other side, back, forward, to the side. Again, keeping your balance, and around. Once you've done 5 one way, rotating them the other way. So again, these are going to the side, forward, around, and up, side, forward, around, and up. If it helps, you can try to add that little curve in the spine so that your glutes are on the floor, a little curve that helps sort of with that adjustment. Now we're actually going to be doing that. We're going to be doing some curving spine exercises. So what we're going to be doing is keeping our feet flat on the floor, knees bent. We're going to just be adding some space between the spine. So kind of hard with my shirt, but there is enough space to fit my hand through. So shoulders should be bent against the floor. Spine bent, chest up, glutes curve. So creating a C in the spine as best as you can. It's hard to show off because of the shadow, but anyways, get enough to fit your hand through. And then you're gonna go back down, flat spine, curving the spine up, flat spine, curving the spine up, and flat spine. So again, just really good for that lower back. It might be easier to do sort of what I'm doing, which is to do a crunch to get that spine flat, curve it back down. And so again, just doing this until you count at 10. Once you count at 10, so 5 down, 5 back, like so. We're going to be moving into some crossed leg rocks. So, going to be crossing our legs. Essentially, knees are about 90 degrees, but just keeping them crossed is enough. Now we're going to come down, force that way up, back down, and really let the spine follow that path. So don't force it, don't, jerk around, but really just let that spine touch every vertebrae on the floor. Back up. And you can start getting into that rhythm. And again, just doing this 10 times. You can do 5 and cross the legs the other way. Just if that helps. Whew. So essentially we're turning our floor or our mat into a muscle roller, rolling our spine out against that vertebrae. If you've heard any cracks or anything like that, it's more than likely just your own chiropractor adjustment on yourself. But of course, any pain, get that checked out. Into the last final yoga exercise, we're going to be doing a child's pose with a thread the needle. So quite simple, getting into that child's pose position. So heels to glutes, arms straight in front of you. Then we're going to be moving slightly into that square position, needle through, 5 seconds, straight forward, needle through, 5 seconds, back into child's pose. And again, doing this 5 times. Of course, going at your own speed. Just want to show off this quick multi-leveled stretch, just because it is great for that lower back. I like to try to keep my spine curved like a C, which is definitely a pattern with these workouts. So really sticking the glutes into the air. And just onto this last one. Again, making that C, stretching one way and through the other. Whew. Just like so. So again, really great for, of course, the shoulders, the upper back from that stretch. When we're getting back into child's pose, that curving of the spine, really great stuff. Whew. So we've gone through the workout. Really great job. We've done 50 of those exercises total. So that's 50 deadlifts to 50 kettlebell swings. So really great. If you're into numbers, I'm into numbers. So otherwise, we're going to be finishing off this workout now. Hope everyone has a great week. Friday should be just as good. And of course, if you'd ever like to be in one of these videos, in a live, etc., let us know in the comments or by messaging the TF Facebook page, any of that. And we'd love to have you. So take care, everybody. And I'll see everybody Friday. Bye-bye all.